Good morning, traders. This should be a live trade video. I have just a couple stocks on my watch list today. The market doesn't look too enticing for low floats today. There's just not, most of the stocks that are trading are not low floats. So let's see here. Yeah, there's the high. So I marked out the high of both of these stocks. And the only way I could take a trade is if they break through that high and then give me an entry like a pullback or an ABCD setup, something like that. So both of them are kind of considerably far away from their pre-market high, so it might be a while. And I think what I'm going to do, first of all, I don't like the way this chart is setting up. You see this one looks normal, how it's going from the pre-market to this black area. So this is like a Weeble issue, and actually you can even see it here down in the time frame. It goes from 9 a.m. to 1 o'clock, where here you see 9 a.m., 9:15, 9:30. There it goes. You saw that. So what I was going to do if it didn't do that was just flip the time frame and then go back to the 1 minute chart. That usually fixes it, but not always. But you got to be careful. I actually made a video earlier where I took a trade because of what the chart was telling me. And turns out the chart was showing me the wrong thing, even though I tried to do that multiple times. So, I mean, whenever you see that, you probably shouldn't take a trade until the chart clears up. Or, I even restarted Weeble. And if that doesn't fix it, just wait. Don't take a trade because it showed me an entry that wasn't really there. So this one's looking pretty strong, 16 million shares here. It'll probably hit some resistance around this dollar level. And I don't really care how strong it looks down here. I mean, obviously, if it looks strong, it makes it that much more interesting if it does break through the pre-market high, but I won't take a trade until it does. There's going to be a lot of selling pressure back from the pre-market of the people that bought, through this whole area here. I'll show you what I mean. Let me just let's go to the 15-minute chart. So you see where the stock is trading right now. Even though there's a lot of volume, you've got all of this volume back here from here up of people that are sitting on this thing that just want to get rid of it or, cut their losses. So that's why I just wait for the pre-market high to be broken. Otherwise, you could end up getting into something that's real choppy and get stopped out very easily. Since this is going to take a while, if I even do take a trade, I just want to show you that I have a Facebook trading group that I started. Mainly, the reason why I started it was to share files, which I will continue to update. The first one that I put on there was my trading plan for January because people on my YouTube page were asking me for the file, and it's not easy to get files up on YouTube. So I figured let me make a Facebook trading group, and then that'll make me able to share my files. So that's kind of what that's about. But I'm also, this is very useful as well. Let's see if I can get it here. That's weird. I just saw my latest post and now it's not showing. Okay, right here. So 10 minutes ago, so around 9:24, I posted my watch list. So if you're interested in having access to my watch list, you can sign up for that. Everything is free. I don't charge for anything. I'm not planning on selling anything or making some kind of educational program to sell. I have no plans of that whatsoever. No desire to do that. I don't care how big my YouTube page gets or my Facebook group page. That's just not what I'm into. And that's not why I'm doing this, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. But anyway, if you're interested in my watch list or you're interested in my trading plan, and I'm sure I'm going to share my 2-hour calculator at some point, and I'll also share my spreadsheet once the end of the month comes and I can get it kind of really locked down and tweaked and cleaned up. Let me pull up the 1 day. I'm on my laptop now. I'm looking at the 1 day screener on Webull, organized by volume. And yeah, everything looks like larger float size, which I'm just not interested in. Either larger float size or they're penny stocks, and I don't like either of those. So this might just be a no trade day, which is fine because you're not always going to have opportunities every single day in the market, and you have to know when to just sit back and watch like I am right now, and then when to just close your platform down after a certain amount of time. You know, I like to, if I don't see anything setting up by maybe like 10 o'clock, then I'll just shut it down, because the longer you sit in front of your platform and watch the charts, the more likely you are to just jump into a less than ideal setup. I almost never do that anymore because I've set up my trading plan so that things have to be strong in order for me to take a trade. Like I have this rule about the pre-market high needs to be broken, and that keeps me out of a lot of weak setups. So, but if you don't have rules like that, if you're looking for other entries, reversals and things like that, that really puts you at high risk for getting into less than ideal setups and getting into stocks that are weaker. Just because they were on the top gainers list or something like that. So I'm just sorry. When I stop talking, I'm usually peeking over at the my 1 day screener. So this is the pre-market screener organized by volume. Take a look at the stocks that are pretty much anything over 1 million is, you know, like kind of worth at least checking out. This one wasn't on there, and that one's actually running pretty good. That one wasn't up there earlier. But got to look at a couple things before consider taking a trade on it. One being the daily chart. Daily chart looks decent. Then the other is, of course, the high of the pre-market, which is way up here, so it still hasn't broken that. Just trying to get it right at 640. There we go. That one's kind of pricey. I think I looked at this one earlier. There was something I didn't like about it. Either that or it's on my list. I can't remember now. It looks like it's on my list. Let's see. Anything else? Take a look at that. So the daily doesn't look good here at all, and you've got this huge run up from what was that, March? Yeah, it's trading below the 200 MA, so that's an easy delete. So it shouldn't be very hard to find good stocks to trade, and today it is. So that's a good sign that, you know, there's just not a lot of energy in this low float market that I normally like to trade in. So that means that, you know, you got to be that much more selective on your entries. I'm looking at price, top gainers, and low floats here. I think I've already looked at that one. Yeah, so that's really it. And the 1 day chart, I'm sorry, screener. I think we already have that one, yep. So this one looks okay from the daily. It already looks like it already broke through its pre-market high at the open. It did it right here. It broke through here, and then yeah, so this was one entry, but it didn't do very well. It didn't get 2R, that's for sure. And then now it's looking like backside, so I don't really like it. And that's a lot of volume in there relative to the rest. I mean, it's not really, I mean, as far as the other stocks are concerned, not much volume, but so that's not a good sign. This price action looks pretty messy. This was a nice move and then flushes right back down. This one hasn't gotten over its pre-market high. And the daily chart doesn't look very good. This thing's just in a strong downtrend. The last time it gapped up, it sold off all day. So yeah, I don't think I'm interested in that. Already checked that one. Okay, now this one broke through the pre-market high. That's good. So now we could look to take a trade on the pullback. Pretty strong pullback here. Just trying to gauge buying pressure from the number of shares on each 1 minute candle. So buyers stepped up pretty strong here. Then this was a basic, almost a break even between buyers and sellers. But this candle's looking pretty decent. Like people are still buying this thing, trying to push the price up. So the high is 466. If I see 467, I'm going to get in. High is 469. So 470. Probably not going to have time to. Yep, there we go. Whoop. Going to get some little slippage there. 471. And the low is 441, so that's 30 cents. I need to see 60 cents on that. Let's see, 60 cents. 471, 571 minus 40, 531. And the stop is the low of this candle. I'm not sure what the low was, like 439. Trying to make sure everything's right here. So low is 441. Oops, I meant to put that at 440 since the low is 441. And let me just use my 2-hour calculator here to double check my math. My entry was supposed to be 470. I'm going to use that because there's this overall weakness in the market. So 528, I like that better just because it's below that 530 threshold. All right, so now there's nothing for me to do. I have all my shares ready to sell at my stop loss or my price target. And from here on out, we could just sit back and watch the trade play out. If it fails, obviously it'll be unfortunate, but let's see. But I've got to get in the habit of holding till 2R. Now, just my feeling on this, and I don't think I really want to change the trade because of that, because I'm trying to avoid trading, you know, off emotion and feelings, because my data shows that that's not going to work in the long run. But of course, you know, I don't feel as strong about this trade as I would, just because I know the market is looking a little weak today, the low float market. But my plan tells me, you know, it's not for me to decide. I just need to look for a good setup, which this is. Here's going to come stop me out as I'm explaining this, maybe. But yeah, my job is to look for a good setup, which this is. And, you know, the stock pretty much meets all of my criteria. And then I just set my stop loss in the appropriate spot, which it is, and my profit target at 2R. And then I just let the trade do its thing. I let it play out. This is actually a really nice pullback here. If this candle breaks through the high of this one, I'm sure a lot more people are going to be coming in on this thing. So and if you consider the price of the stock is right around $5, this is about a 10% move, which isn't really too much to ask from a low float stock. And let me see where my risk is 6.17%. So I have this other rule that is like, if my risk is less than 5%, I must hold to 2R. And then if it's above that, then I have a little bit of leeway to do some partial selling, but I just don't think I should. I think I need to just take this, you know, if this is a loss, I'm going to take the loss. And if it's a win, you know, it'll be a good 2R trade. So no need to mess around with it. we got to remember that it's never about just one trade. You know, so if this trade fails, that doesn't mean that I need to change everything around or that, you know, this strategy doesn't work. I have about 3 months of data saying that this strategy does work. You know, the problem is I don't always follow it. When I don't, I usually leave a lot of money on the table. So, you know, I may have to take some losses in the short term so that in the long run that this strategy can work out. So now if this thing makes a newer low below this candle, that's not a good sign. But again, there's nothing for me to do. Everything is already set in motion. It just means that I'm more likely to be stopped out, that's all. All right, looks like I'm gonna get stopped out maybe. Yep. There we go. It's probably gonna bounce now. So that's probably near my my max loss for the day. No, 269, that's not so bad. Let's check the watch list, see what else is going on. I could still take a trade on that stock. Because that could have just been an early entry. And, you know, it's likely that I'll get a better, you know, kind of, here we go. Oh crap, now I'm in the wrong stock. That was a big mistake, big mistake. I meant to get into this guy, see if I can still. And now I need to get out of this one. I'm gonna give this one a second, just since I'm in it. I just wanna see, I'm gonna put the stop loss right here. This is a terrible setup. This is not a trade that I meant to get into, but I'm gonna let this thing go at least to 546 before I get out. That's the first time I've done that. That's obviously the danger of trading off of off the watch list. My 2R is going to be somewhere over here on this one, just to give me like a rough visual. If I see 545 on this guy, I'm out. Here I need to see, what's the low here? 439 to get out. So 545 or 439. I'm just gonna get out of this thing, I think, because let's see. Yeah, I should just get out. I'm just trying to get like 557 or something, so it's only a 1 cent loss. So I can focus on the trade I meant to be in. Because that one's not doing so hot either. There we go. I'm going to take that. I'll probably get 552 there. 553. All right, take that loss. Now I can focus on the one that I meant to be in. Let's get to the trade screen. Okay, so I was trying to get... This will definitely be it for me if this trade doesn't work out. I had a feeling the low float market wasn't going to be strong today. So, these are just, these trades just already have a little bit, I think, more risk than normal. So my ideal, so this would have been a 20 cent 1R. So I need to see 40 cents above 460. So $5 is what I'm looking for, which is even above the high. So I'm gonna do 499. Let's see, 499. And then what is that? 440. So 439 for the loss, the stop loss. And actually got fewer shares than I think I would have because I was already in that other trade, so my buying power was lower. So even if this trade works out, it's not going to be like a true 2R trade compared to the previous one. So I think I had 9 shares in that one. Just making sure everything's set right. Yeah, stop loss is at 439. We'll double check the math on this. So 460 by 440. $5, like I said, $4.99, just to ensure that I get filled. This one has lower risk, so that's better, but it's just not looking great right now. Looking like I might get stopped out again right here. So kind of as I thought, the low float market is weak today. But I try not to have too much bias going into the market. That's why I have that kind of pre-market high must be broken, rule, because that kind of helps keep me out of weak stocks. But you can't always, and I don't like to make predictions because you never know what's going to happen. I definitely have had this feeling before and then missed out on some really strong runs. So I think it's better just to trade your system and not use your gut or anything like that, because once you start trading, taking trades because of a feeling or not taking trades because of a feeling, you get into that habit, you've got nothing. That's not a very scientific way of trading. So there we go. I'm going to be stopped out there. So that's it. I think I'm done for the day. That should be right around my max loss, which is around $5. So yeah, just a little bit lower. So, not too bad. as far as a loss goes, but and again, you know, both of those setups are setups that are within my trading plan and my strategy. Both of those stocks broke through the high, other than that one, but I think that loss was pretty small, like 10 or 20 cents or something on that one that I accidentally entered. 43 cents, so not a big deal. So this was from the pre-market, and then these are those two trades at the open. So it's unfortunate, but I stuck to my plan and my strategy, and it is what it is. That's nothing we can do about that. So hopefully this video helped you. Like I said, you know, there was a feeling that the low floats. Now here's one thing that I might be able to add to my plan to kind of keep me out of say weak stocks is one thing that I noticed today is that none of those low float stocks were in the top 5 organized by volume. Maybe not even, just so one of them was in the top 10, and that one didn't do well. And one of my rules for the pre-market is that the stocks must be like in the top 3, the ones that I'm trading. I could even, honestly, I could even apply that rule to the market open and say if the stocks aren't in the top 3 volume being traded, to not trade. And that would have kept me out of those trades today. Even on the one-day chart, none of these stocks are low float stocks. So that could be a new rule that I apply to my trading plan. In fact, I'm going to write it in right now where you guys can see it. Right at the beginning. This is what I like to do whenever I kind of notice something new or like a weakness, is that then I just enter it right into my trading plan. So let me write roughly right now at market open. Low float stock must be in top 3 pre-market or one-day screener organized by volume. So new rule, and then whoops, put the dash in the wrong place there. So a new rule based on today's loss. And I think it's a good one. I think that that it's going to keep me out of these weak low float market days, and that's the idea. Yeah, I may miss some opportunities every now and then, but after those two trades, which were both pretty good setups, they both failed. That's not a good sign for these low float stocks when they're not in the highest volume traded. So where was that one that I was trading? Which one was it again? Let's see. Irix. It was down pretty low in the volume, I remember. I mean, it still had over 1 million shares traded, and that was basically the criteria I was using, is that it was trading with over 1 million shares. It's got 5.96 million shares traded, which seems like plenty, but not enough to make it follow through those moves in a very strong way. So I think I'm going to stick to that top 3. They need to be up here. And on the one-day list, so that's number 17 on the pre-market list. On the one-day list, it's 18 by volume. So I think that's going to be a good rule for me. I think that's going to save me money in the long run. So and make me feel better about entering trades, because both of those trades, although the patterns were really good, I wasn't that happy about where these things were volume-wise. So if you watch one of my videos I released a few days ago about candlestick reading, I just kept reiterating how important volume is, and I was just today considering, well, it's above 1 million shares volume, so that's enough volume, but obviously not enough to give me 2R. So anyway, I think that's plenty for today. Let me know if you guys have any questions about anything. I'm still I think I'm red on the week now, but I'm definitely green on the month. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's only the second day of the week, and I only took one trade yesterday. So I only had one trade yesterday, and I took 2 today. Actually, I took 3 today because I traded in the pre-market and that 4th, trade that I wasn't supposed to take. So really, 4 trades versus 1, and I'm only down $1.39. So that's pretty good. And let's see, for the month. For the month, I'm still up almost $10. So I think we're doing pretty well. Just got to implement that new rule about not trading unless the stocks are in the top 3 volume. Yeah, organized by volume. That's exactly what I said. So I think that's going to help a lot. And you guys might want to try that too. I don't know. So, all right. Let me know what you think. Now, I'll see you. I'm trying to think it. So in the aftermarket, it's even trickier. So I'm not sure that, because you can't go by volume in the aftermarket. So I think I'm just going to call it a day and come back tomorrow and see if there's more volume with these low float stocks. So if they're not in the top 3, I'm not going to look at them, and that's it. I just won't trade. So if another day like today comes along, I'm just going to sit on my hands. That's all. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you in the next video.